Good evening and welcome back. I'm Laura Kubicki.
And I'm Madeline Farber.
Lawrence firefighters responded to a residential fire phone call today around noon. The fire broke out in an apartment building located on the block of 12th and Ohio Street. As of now, the cause of the fire has not been released. However, sources say there were no injuries. So, on a lighter note, did you go to the basketball game last night?
I did not, but I have some pretty awesome highlights from the game. KU won 109-56 over Emporia State last night. The Jayhawks started slow offensively but grew aggressive in the second half, scoring 63 points in the final 20 minutes. KU's next game is on November 14th against UC Santa Barbara at 7 p.m. at Allen Fieldhouse.
Well, I know I'll definitely be going to the game on Friday. What about yourself?
I don't know if I'll be going to that one. Which makes me sound like such a lame KU student.
Well, what about camping? Are you involved in a camping group?
I have not gotten in a camping group yet.
Well, lucky you. Didn't have to do 6 a.m. lottery this morning.
I did not. I was sound asleep.
On another note, we're going to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll have the member of the UDK in the studio to tell us about a number of interesting living opportunities for KU students.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. The Kansan has recently published a Lawrence Living Guide, which lists every place by region in Lawrence where students can opt to live. Here with us now is Christina from the University Daily Kansan to tell us more. Thanks for joining us, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the housing fair that went on at the Kansas Union today and the living guide you guys have.
Absolutely. So this morning we had a Kansan housing fair at the Union from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It was for students to come and meet with some of our advertisers, housing complexes from around Lawrence and try to find a new home for next year.
Well, great. Does this include both on and off campus housing?
It does. We have a really great partnership with student housing, and so we obviously always try to include them since they're a great source for students to live at too.
Well, sounds like you guys have a variety of things in your guidebook. So why did the Kansan decide to make this living guide?
Basically just for the students, as the voice of the students, we want to make sure we kind of hit every category and area that they're interested in, so that is why we came out with this new product this year, if you're interested.
So how long did it take to collect all this information?
We started product development probably back in September, so it kind of takes a while. We had a team in the category for housing that went out and talked to the clients and got them invested in the product. So yeah, it's a long process, but it paid off.
And what exactly was your position within this project?
I'm the current advertising director, so I kind of oversee the entire advertising and marketing side of the University Daily Kansan. So I have a couple other sales managers and students that help with all the products.
And what effect do you think, or hope, I guess, this living guide will make on students?
So hopefully they find their home for next year and then see more options than they knew were available from before.
Well, great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Christina.
Thank you.
Right now, we're going to take another break, but when we come back, we'll have the details on the expected billion-dollar decrease in Kansas revenue for next year and also the latest on the Supreme Court discussion on same-sex marriage in Kansas. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Megan Tiger.
And I'm David Dickey. This is your Good Evening KU News Update. Kansas will receive $1 billion less in revenue in 2015 and 2016 than its projected expenses due to the massive income tax cut passed by Governor Brownback. School, roads, and social services are among areas that may be cut in the upcoming months due to the revenue shortfall.
The U.S. Supreme Court will decide this week whether same-sex couples in Kansas should be allowed to marry. Both Oklahoma and Utah have allowed same-sex marriage and are part of the same 10th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals, which includes Kansas. There's a good chance that marriage equality will move forward since Kansas is not much different than these two states.
U.S. and China reached an agreement on Wednesday to combat the threat of climate change. Both leaders of the world's largest pollution sites committed to reducing emissions in the future. The U.S. plans to show aggressive actions on climate change in order to urge other nations to offer ambitious contributions.
An international research team led by KU scientists headed to Antarctica yesterday. The month-long trip is part of a project aimed at understanding floral changes during the Jurassic period in the Transantarctic Mountains. The research will help researchers understand how current climate change may affect high-latitude plants.
Well, I hope Kansas is ready for the winter weather to hit us. When we come back, we'll have Jack and Sky to tell us about the wintry mix that we have headed our way, so stay with us.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back, and now it's time for our weather report. So, we have Jack outside the Union. Jack, tell us, what's it like outside right now?
Well, right now it's about 26 and it's pretty cold, but it's nice clear skies. It's going to drop down to about 18 degrees tonight.
All right, now what can we expect for the rest of the school week?
For the rest of the week, it'll be about mid to low 30s, but clear skies as well. So cold, bundle up, but it won't be too bad.
All right, there's a home football game on Saturday. What's it supposed to be like this weekend?
Well, this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, even though it'll stay in the 30s, it'll be a 80% chance of snow on Saturday and a 50% chance of snow on Sunday. So bring your hat and gloves if you go to the game.
Wow, hard to believe snow's already coming. I heard that there's been already a big snowstorm up in Minnesota. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, there was a record snowstorm up in Minnesota this past weekend. They got a record 13.1 inches. So we won't see anything that bad, but still, don't forget the hat and gloves.
All right, sounds good. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.